Hello everyone, this is Crystal Dawnhill and I'm back with part 3 of Living Your Destined Path. On the first video I said that it was Saturday, October 27th. On the second one, on part 2, I said that it's still October 27th and today is indeed October 27th, but it's Sunday, not Saturday. So again, I'm here with part 3, and I'm going to subtitle this one, Which Twin Knows First? Because I had mentioned in part 1 that I wanted to do a video about that. And in the case with my twin and me, it kind of ties in with what I'm talking about as far as living our destiny in our chosen path 100%. So if I were to go back as far as I'm able, as far as my memory will recollect, neither my twin nor I really knew first. Or it's hard to determine which of us knew first. But as I'm sure many have experienced along the twin flame journey, it kind of goes back and forth. Like one of us knows certain things about our connection and the other one knows other things about our connection. So the journey, once you meet and merge and integrate and activate each other and all that, it's a weaving back and forth between the two sides of the connection. And you sort of bring each other's awareness to things within the dynamic, and that certainly has been the case with us. So the journey is, of course, an unfoldment of these discoveries, and because it's eternal, because of its eternal nature, things have to stay interesting and somewhat mysterious, because if they don't, the enthusiasm and the endurance and everything will begin to fizzle out, and then the soul will become stagnant, like I was describing in part 1, where I tried to kind of pull away and go back into my 3D reality. So, but once the two souls come together in the physical world and they meet in their human incarnations, then that ceases to continue, the stagnancy, because of their awareness of their complement being incarnated. It kind of keeps their interest heightened and keeps them on kind of like a magnet, that keeps them adhered to their path and doesn't let them waver back and forth like they do early on and prior to meeting. So I didn't realize that this part of this video would go in this direction, but it's really cool that it is. So my having gone through everything that I've experienced in the past few years, leading up to the meeting with my true counterpart last year, I had been doing a lot of weaving back and forth between timelines. And when I moved to the apartment that I'm living in now and started to feel settled and grounded and everything, I realized that I was in my originally slated or destined timeline. And then once I encountered him, I didn't know instantly in my intellectual mind, but I began to realize that the next phase of my journey was to hold space while he went through certain things in his journey and was able to settle into his originally destined timeline as well. So this is all part of being 100% devoted to our calling or the life that we were destined to live, because it all goes hand in hand. So, essentially every person that you meet that feels familiar or you feel a connection with, or you feel like they're your aspect, every person, every timeline, every location, every experience, every potential outcome of every scenario will all merge into one reality. And once all of that happens, and then you continue to balance your energies between your twin and yourself, then both twins begin to kind of settle in and get more oriented with the new energies that they've encountered and be able to fully integrate and fully align with where their destiny is headed. And I like to use the analogy of the two roads that they're following individually come together and merge, and then they begin walking the same path together. So as far as who knows first, I guess the definite answer to that would be whichever of the two is ready to acknowledge the connection for what it actually is and is ready to own that and implement that into their life 100%. And that happens in conjunction with their willingness and their ability to fully align with their purpose. Because as I said, but I don't know if I really expressed it clearly enough, that's what the whole journey is about. Of course, it's about finding true love and learning to experience that love and sustain it in your life consistently. But it also goes hand in hand with that life of service. So it's like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? One will really never know, right? Unless you say, well, the egg wasn't created before the animal. So I guess that could be the answer for that. But which of us knew first? I think when we were created, the knowing of who we truly belonged with was instilled within our being. So it's like this little radar device that helps us detect the other and draw each other toward one another. And in that first encounter, there's this initial recognition, and then it's the unfoldment process after that. But as I said a moment ago, essentially, it truly would be the first one who's embracing everything about it fully, the mission, the person, the circumstances, the energy, and the entire dynamic 100%. So the rest, the person who does not embrace it right away is not embracing it, not because they don't choose their full destiny. It's just because it's, as I said several times during this whole entire message, all three parts, is it's a process. And whoever recognizes it first and embraces it in its entirety must be able to hold the space for their complement to be able to settle into their destined timeline and experience the things that are left for them to experience, and to find their way back to that destiny. Now, this might help further explain this a little bit. In our particular case, we've kind of done that for each other, and it's really cool, and it's part of the mystery and the phenomena and the mystical nature of this whole journey. We've both done everything for each other. We've both been everything to each other, and we've both experienced both sides of every single coin. So, in saying all this, I just got this little inkling to say that in the twin flame dynamic, there should never be any measuring oneself against the other, comparisons, competition, or anything. You're a unit, and you're operating and functioning and existing as one. And once the inner balance and harmony is achieved, and you meet your divine complement, and you begin to achieve balance and harmony within your unit, you eventually and ultimately reach a space where you're experiencing that unified state of being with each other, just as you did prior to your meeting as an individual. And it may sound like I'm rambling. I don't know. I'm somewhat in a channeling state. Because I just noticed that I'm kind of like staring out the window and not really paying attention to what I'm saying. It's just kind of flowing out. So I feel like what I've said is somewhat of a steady stream of thought and is making some sense, but I don't want to take too much of a chance on that. So while I'm paying attention, I'm just going to go ahead and end that here. And I do believe this is going to be the last part in this message, and if anything more comes up, I may do a part 4, but I doubt it. I think this pretty much wraps up everything that I wanted to say today. And right now, part 1 is uploading, and it's taking a long time, so I imagine that it'll be close to bedtime before I'm able to get all 3 parts uploaded. So once more, I'd like to thank everyone for following along. Best wishes on your journey as well, and have a wonderful day.